All right, hello everyone. Wanted to put together a guide here. This is going to be something that just discusses the various types of balls and situations to use them, just kind of like as a beginner's guide to understand really what it is that you have in your bag. Now, one of the things that I just wanted to briefly just touch on here, there's an update that just came out yesterday, so I just wanted to make you aware in case. So if you went to the store, you should see open instead of update, and you should be looking for version 2.3. Now, another way to know if you're running 2.3 is this gear symbol. I'm not going to click on it, um, but you'll see that it says version. There's also something called user ID, username. Well, that user ID is very specific to you. You're the only one that have it, and I really don't want to share mine, and that's something that you should also be trying to protect as well. But if you do go to that gear symbol in the top left, you should be able to see the version that you're running. And version 2.3, from what I'm understanding, is something that they focused on gameplay overall and kind of try to make the needle a little bit more stable and a solution for devices to keep them from overheating as well. So if you are running this latest version, you should see better gameplay experience. So I just wanted to briefly touch on that. And here, let's go to the balls. I just want to kind of, and whether you're free to play or want to pick up some ball specials, either way, I feel this game has you covered. So what they did a couple days ago is they released a package where you were able to, you could either spend cash and get 18 packs of sleeves, or you could spend the in-game cash directly for 600 cash, and you can see, where your cash balance is, and you could also get 18 packs that way. And it was a random thing where you could basically, I don't know if you guys have seen, oh crap, I said, so here on the main pack here you can see golf balls, 19 of 33. This is all the different balls in the game, in the event that you haven't seen these. And they put out a pack which just kind of randomly gave you packs. Whatever popped up was what you wound up with. And it was relatively affordable to do so. So I like this game, and I don't mind picking up stuff from time to time. Similar, with my veteran account, I have a decent amount invested into that. A couple hundred. That it's just a way that I like to show support to the developers, and also it just kind of matches my enjoyment that I get from the game as well. But even if you are free to play, it doesn't matter. They have good solutions for you in place, probably some of the best that I've seen across any game here. So one of the things that I just want to kind of make note here is this Mojave. This is something that can be won in tournaments, especially once you move on to veteran. You'll win a lot more of them. Also Royale events, so you'll see if you can win first or second on a lot of tournaments, or top and Royale finishes. You'll be able to win some of these slowly and just kind of pick up a balance that way. And that's what I've done with my main account. And with this, I've been kind of picking some up along the way, but also, they're pretty affordable in the shop as well. So I do like this ball. And one of the things I wanted to point out here is it's +7, and it's something, you don't really, you can get these in game rather easily. You can realistically, you can get all these balls. You can see this Be Happy, and you can see this Rage R. These are balls where it says 19 there. These are balls in Black Widow. These are things that I got from the pin chest. So they have one of the best solutions that I've seen in the game for pin chests, where they're actually starting to, so if you're grinding out Tor in this game, you're going to be able to pick up a ball at random every, one or two, like you might not get it every time, but it seems to be every 2 times. Once every 2, you might get one of those pay balls. Otherwise, they might just give you one of these other ones. Loop R. This is another ball that I really like to use a lot. It has very good side spin, and not a lot of power or wind reduction. But realistically, I don't really need to have all these attributes as one. So when you do round out these collections a little bit better, you'll see kind of the different uses for each of these. And these Pro D1s are also something that you can start to win in veteran tournaments. So and I'm hoping as Tour Pro events open up, stuff like that, that the prizes just become that much more in reach obtainable. And I think that's something that's probably going to happen and in the long term. Here you can see, it's kind of like a Mojave. It's +7, 100% side spin, -50 wind reduction. This is the best headwind ball that you can, if you're a free player, you'll sometimes get these from pin chests. You'll sometimes get them from free chests. It just kind of randomly pops up. I don't have a very large inventory of them yet. I haven't won very many. You can see I have 8, but it's just something that I can slowly get. And if I really need to, let's say on a tournament par 5, they gave me wind straight in the face. You'll see sometimes, especially as I get towards vet and it might be 10 wind in the face, I can reduce that down to 5 and also have that 7% power reduction. So this is one of the, best headwind balls in the game. But also if you have that tight tucked pin, having that 100% side spin option really helps you get to those tight pins as well. So you'll see on some par 5s in my tournament guides, I might pull those out. Similar with these Mojaves, it has the same power boost, less wind reduction. So since it's less wind reduction, this is more of a tailwind ball or even a side wind. I'll use these if I just need that extra 7% boost and I really don't have wind in the face. That's the difference that I use between Pro D1 and Mojave, and both of those balls can be won in game. Same with this High Flight. All the ones that are the first 7 here listed are stuff that you can be won in game via tournament, via Royale events. And this ball specifically here, you see it's just kind of one of those well-rounded balls. It has a little bit of wind reduction, a little bit of power, kind of like a mid-power. And it has 100% side spin, which really does help you get those tucked pins. And you'll see a lot of those in the Royales. So if you're doing a lot of Royales, you'll be able to stock up on those High Flights. Now, let's just kind of talk about these pay balls down here, these purchasable balls. Whether or not you want to pick it up, it's kind of solely on you. Either way, I think you have the most fair possibility out of any game, because the largest you can have is an 8%. And let's look at Mojave here. It's +7% power, 25 wind. Here's a V'ger ball, 8% power, 25% wind. So it's the same wind, but it's just 1% boost. So this is really it's only going to give you just a 1%. So let's just say you're playing a Holy Driver and it has 230 power. You might get 2.3 yards over somebody playing the free ball. So it's very advantageous, so it's one of those things where you don't have to be threatened in this game that you're playing against too hard of competition, because the way that they've developed, the pay balls are right in line. They might just be just a little bit, 10% boost, 15% boost, from what the pay guys might be having. It's not something where you're really going to see, if I have, for instance, power number, if I have my power number being extended to say up to, it extends my drive to 250, the Powerball might only extend it to 253. So that 1% boost really isn't going to make or break, what you're looking, to being severely outdrive or anything like that. And here you'll see a Rage R. This is another very similar ball to the V'ger. Then these are some of the longest ones. So I'm just going through the longest ones right now. And then here's also the Bruiser. So the Bruiser is actually a little bit longer. So if you did have that massive tailwind, the minus 15% is going to create less wind resistance. It is going to create just a little bit more topspin on the ball, and also maybe just, a yard or two more carry because that wind reduction's down. So as you get into vet events, and if you had a 10 tailwind, instead of reducing that wind down to 7.5, it reduces down to 8.5, and you can still really carry these. But, I'm pointing these balls out specifically as really good tailwind balls. So those are the ones you want to be looking at. And, other balls like this are also good tailwind balls. But so you can see here the +7, it still has that massive power attribute, but it has minus 40 wind reduction. So this is going to be a great all-around ball. It's going to have great tailwind capabilities, but also it's going to, if you do have a 10 tailwind, you might not want to reduce it down to 6. And that's what this would do. This ball would take it down to a 6, but into a headwind, let's say you were into a headwind and you wanted to keep that power up as much as possible, you could use a +7, minus 50, minus 40. You can see this is very close to the Pro D1. It's kind of in between Pro D1 and Mojave, that ball. And similar with the regular Lahala, you'll see the very same attributes, just a little bit less side spin. So these balls specifically are going to be right in between Mojave and Pro D1. They fall right in between those. Okay, so you're going to have, in terms of power, into a headwind. I mentioned this being kind of a nice headwind ball. This is a better all-around ball, but also it's a tailwind ball because the wind reduction's down. And similar with these are also going to be kind of, they're very versatile. They can be good for headwind, good for tailwind. It really just depends on what you need. Do you need that length? That's the key. Because if you do, you might want to go ahead with something with a little bit less wind reduction and still has that power attribute. So that's what you can see just kind of working through these, is there's a whole variety of different situations. And you can see this Vanquish is very similar ball here. So if I was to look at this Lahala, the only thing that's different is just a little bit of side spin. But what that's good for is, let's say you are in the higher tours and you have 10 wind, you can reduce it down to 6. Makes it a lot easier to hit shots in there close, potentially hold them. So really having that option and rounding out your bags. So this is another minus 40%. And you can see that this one just has a little bit more side spin. Any pin that's tucked is where I'm going to try to pull out something like this tea time here. And again, I'm hoping, they do this rotational thing that they did where they put out that special packs where, you could randomly get any ball. I do feel like they're probably going to put it out because I've seen them kind of do something like that a couple times now. And I do think those vents are worth taking advantage of, so you can have all these different ones. And you can see this money ball down here. I wanted to show you this, the minus 60 and +7, and also great side spin. This is a great side wind ball or tail or headwind. It's also, very versatile. It can be for tailwinds, headwinds, side winds, but the foremost that you might want to be looking at is the side spin capability. It is your pin tucked, but also, that minus 60% wind. If they do ever end up opening up higher tours or higher tournament brackets, that minus 60%, this is going to be a great ball. This is going to be one of my favorite balls in the entire game. So what I like about this, let's say winds do at some point reach minus 15 or 15 miles per hour. This reduction is going to move that below 7. So taking 15 to 6.7 or whatever is going to be pretty crucial. And it's going to make getting through the tours easier, getting through tournaments easier. So as they do add more content, this is going to be a very great ball to kind of hold on to. And this is one of those that I'm going to kind of covet a little bit. I'm not gonna waste through this ball because it's so special, I think. And you can see a lot of these other ones, they're just pretty similar. So, I look at the Lahalas, the V'gers, and so they all kind of serve a purpose, and, maybe just a little bit more power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on putting together tournament guides for you, and whether it's, a free to play or, a paid ball down here, it really doesn't make a lot of a difference. You can see the solutions that they have up here in free are as competitive to the pay balls. So either way, this is something, especially to me, that I definitely agree with what they're doing. So it's great seeing the developers write the game like this. And you can see this pin bag here. Once this fills up to 12, I'm going to have a chance to bring in one more ball. They just, have this free to play algorithm in, where if you're really grinding, let's say you're doing 10 of these a day, and you're doing 20, and you might win 8, 6, 8, 10 balls a day. So there is a solution in place for you to get these. So I'm not really grinding too much with this account, but if you are, there's a chance that you're going to be able to bring in one ball at a time and just try them out, see if you like them, and see if, you don't mind, when they put out the special balls into the shop here, if you don't mind picking some up, after you get that trial, maybe you see that you really like that type of ball. So once that special offer comes around, you don't feel like the purchase is that, big of a deal to you. And again, it's just, how you want to support the game, or, if you have a couple bucks and, you like this game. I'm one of those guys that just, I don't mind putting money into the games that I support. So, but, it's cool either way. However you want to play is up to you. So keep all that in mind, but also know that it's going to be very fair in this game either way. And that's one of the key reasons that I think you should be supporting these guys in this game, because it just seems that what they're doing is very, very smart. And I agree with a lot of the stuff that these developers are doing with the way that they're developing this game to make it pay to play friendly and also free to play. There's not much gap there. So hopefully you guys are happy and with the game. And, if not, if you have feedback, you can always go to the support there in the settings there. And, let the guys know what you're feeling. They seem to be very good about responding and actually listening to the feedback that you're, might be dealing with. So if you do have those concerns, feel free to, just give them a shout out. But good luck out there, guys. I'm going to be putting together tournament guides later, so we'll be talking a lot more about these balls in the long term. Just wanted to put out this brief guide. It's just kind of something to use as a fallback, so you just understand how to use the balls effectively and how you can get the most out of the game by using those balls. So good luck out there, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.